Was it short?
Is that okay? We're on?
Hello, my name is Faith Leteri. I'm Specialist Watch Buyer at Watches of Switzerland. I'm joined here with my colleague Dave Lindsay, Director of VIP Sales, and we've just come back from SIHH Fair in Switzerland. Got a few questions that we'd like to talk to you about, and please feel free to send in any questions that you've got regarding either our watches, our products, or the pieces we've just seen. Dave, what was your personal highlight from SIHH?
Personally, it was the 56 range from Vacheron, because we'd seen a preview and it delivered above our expectations when we saw them in the flesh. It's aimed at a new client base, so and hats off to them, because in a world where there are quite a few line extensions, I thought it was quite brave of Vacheron to bring a new range out. Probably from a commercial perspective, I'd say that's my personal. From a commercial perspective, the Cartier Santos with their interchangeable bracelet, I thought that was really clever, and the brand, the actual aesthetic of the Santos as well, means that guys are going to be wearing that watch. So yeah, those would be my highlights.
Right, both introducing to new markets then, in theory.
Absolutely, yeah.
And what do you most look forward to when you go to SIHH?
Spending time with you and Mark, of course. Getting a pulse beat of what's happening in the industry, speaking to the brands, seeing how they're thinking, and also from a client perspective, it would be to bring the newness, the novelties, the newness to our audience, and trying to take one step of the game with Watches of Switzerland for that.
Thank you. You just said something quite interesting, actually. We hear the term novelties frequently in our industry, but to clients that aren't familiar with it, what does that mean?
Newness.
It
sounds a lot better.
Yeah. And in your opinion, what are the big watch trends that we're going to see this year?
Well, what we saw at the fair were, as Brian says, blue is the new blue, but there's still a lot of blue around. Some conservative pricing. And I still think there's quite a few skeletons out there. So, but the thing, what we see at the fair is probably about a year ahead of what actually hits the stores. So we're starting to see blue in there already. But I think those would be the three areas that I took away from the fair.
Okay. And many of the brands unveiled glamorous new brand ambassadors. You were too busy, I understand, to
that's right,
work for any of them. But we've got Benedict Cumberbatch for fronting Jaeger LeCoultre and Bradley Cooper for IWC. Do you think that watch lovers are influenced by brand decisions like these, or do they care more about the product itself?
Both. Clearly it works, because the brands invest so much money into these icons. But there will be different strokes for different folks, so it will appeal to both, It definitely
engages with a different audience, I think. Sometimes when you've got these ambassadors, it doesn't necessarily sell more watches, but it will raise the profile and introduce to a different client base.
Yeah, agreed.
This year is the 25th anniversary of the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Offshore.
Yeah.
What do you think about the Anniversary Timepieces launched this year, and what were your thoughts on the impressive R2D2, the world's thinnest self-winding perpetual calendar?
That was really cool. I mean, it's just a shame it was a concept. I think Brian was lucky enough to try that on. We just saw it in the case, but it's 6.3 millimeters, so it's the world's thinnest perpetual calendar. APS super cool. We've seen already from our videos, they've done really, really well with the audience tuning in for AP. And this will just go out there that they have now got the world's thinnest ultra thin.
And in a beautiful case, everything that's iconic about the Audemars brand as well.
Yeah.
It's a winning watch.
Yeah, we just wish we could get more product from Audemars Piguet. They're such a strong brand. They're brilliant.
And which was your favourite piece from the IWC's 150th anniversary Jubilee collection?
There were some really nice pieces. If I had the chance to take one, it would be the rose gold blue dial moon phase, 45 millimeter. That one's about 19,400. What about you?
Okay. I actually really like the Da Vinci. They came in the two dials, the white and the blue. The entire collection actually was either the white or the blue lacquer dial. where it was focused was around obviously the anniversary, and the original models had enamel dials, but they couldn't recreate that for the entire collection, so they had beautiful lacquers on both the blue and the white, and actually I thought it was just really crisp, really clean. Da Vinci is one of the newer pillars or reintroductions for the brand, so I thought this worked really well.
Got a question?
I've got a question, okay.
Right.
Okay. All right, Vicky from Leeds.
Hi Vicky, how you doing? Thanks for the question.
You haven't heard it yet. No, it's a really good question. Which brand surprised you at SIHH?
I will probably go back to, I was really pleasantly surprised by the Santos and how strong it was, and how much thinking's gone into the Santos, because not only is it a predictable success story that they've got already, but they've got it so right, and that interchangeable, you know, the easy link fitting on the bracelet, and you can change the bracelet yourself. I just thought that was that wowed me when I was there. So that would probably be the brand that surprised me the most. So
I think it's a great question, because people might assume that we would, it would be something brand new, something that was never been seen before, never been done before, a new style, a new dial, a new colour. But actually, sometimes the icons can just get it spot on, just as a bit of a refresher or whatever they're trying to do, or reintroduce it or keep it interesting. So yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because what surprises you is sometimes what you least to be expected to be surprised by.
There's another watch which, when I walked past the cabinet, when they displayed, Langer had that Saxonia thin with the blue
anthracite
dial. Yeah,
beautiful.
that surprised me. That was, wow, God, look at that. So that was another one which was cool. That's about 18,000.
Yeah, it's just over 17 and a half.
So yeah, thank you for the question.
Jaeger-LeCoultre breathed new life into its iconic Polaris on the occasion of the model's 50th anniversary. What were your thoughts on the new re-editions?
Quite a strong collection actually from Jaeger. There were 17 models in the Polaris, and they ranged from 5,950 through to 21,700, I think. So you've got the World Time in there, World Time Chronos, the Polaris Date, the Memovox, blue dial, black dial, strap, bracelet. So you've got a real broad spectrum of models there. So I think that they will do well with that, absolutely.
I'm sure they will. It's all around the Memovox, which was 50. That was the anniversary. It was the one watch. So they've built a really strong contemporary collection, but stayed really loyal to their DNA. Jaeger are very good at doing that, I think. So I very much enjoyed seeing that too. And what can ladies expect in the luxury watchmaking this year?
They can expect a wider selection. We saw the Piaget Possession, which has come in at just over 3,000. I think it's about 3.2 or 3.4 for nearly 29mm. You've also got Panerai, who have brought that beautiful 38mm that you loved as well. The Tag Ladies F1, so that's a really good price point. So it's a wider selection on ladies, and then if you take it to the far end of the spectrum, you've got the Rendezvous 39mm Tourbillon models and Celestials. So there were some beautiful watches for ladies across the range. Yeah,
brands I think are getting much more involved in creating watches for ladies, not just necessarily putting shrinking the case size to fit a lady's watch. They're really thinking about what women want, and whether it's like you referenced the Possession, that's an incredible price point at just over £3,000. Diamond dial, the bezel itself rotated with a diamond in it, and as you said, it's just going to be really accessible. But yet they're not forgetting that actually women are interested in horology as well. So right the way up. The Celestial was my favourite, by the way.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Vacheron Constantin's new 56 collection is aimed at a different client. What did you think of the designs on these collections?
They were really contemporary. The price point, you've got to be careful here, because you can get blasé in this industry. Vacheron, they have some beautiful watches which can be, go into the hundreds of thousands of pounds. They've come in with the 56, which comes in at £10,500. And when I saw that range, I thought it reminded me of when Patek brought in the Aquanaut. It's actually bringing in a new kind of client to Vacheron, and as I said before, I welcome the new line to their portfolio. So yeah.
Yeah, the other thing is it's one of the oldest brands with a sort of the longest heritage. So I think what it did was, some people we were talking about is, you know, it's a younger customer. You can't forget though, exactly as you said, we just get so blasé and carried away with an entry point at £10,500. It's still an incredible amount of money, but it does give it a bit more access to somebody that wants a watch with such heritage and such wonderful watchmaking history. But gives them the opportunity to buy into that. Cartier is famous for its many signature watch cases, from the crash to the tank. This year, and it was a big year for Cartier, its focus was on the Santos de Cartier, widely seen as the first modern wristwatch. Why do you think this timepiece has endured the test of time?
Santos, because it's part of Cartier's DNA. It was right there at the very start when, you know, when Santos had the watch created on the basis it looked like the rivets from his plane. Basically, the Santos is to Cartier as what Levi jeans are to the fashion industry. You know, absolutely, it's a classic, and you know, it's absolutely no surprise that they brought that back, and they brought the Panther back, and they will be successful.
Baume & Mercier unveiled its first ever in-house automatic caliber, the Baumatic, this year. How do you think this watch will do amongst customers?
Well, we've had the proof of the pudding will be in the eating, and already, I mean, Mark was saying quite a few people have been making requests about Baumatic. They actually made this movement back in 1975, I believe, and it goes in their Clifton watch. But they've updated it with a silicon hairspring, a silicon escapement. It's got a 5-day power reserve, so it's has the ability of longer service between periods of servicing. You can go longer without the need to have it serviced. Reduces the amount of friction in the movement as a result of the silicon, and I believe that they've introduced an enhanced lubrication within the movement as well, so that you get a better tolerance of timekeeping as well. So I think it's BM 1297A is a reference.
I'm going to take your word for it. It sounds like they've done a lot to that watch.
Thus far, we've had some positive feedback on it. Yeah.
Great. Interchangeable straps were a big trend this year. Cartier even has 2 patents pending on their new quick switch system and smart link self-fitting technology. Excuse me, it's not easy for me to say. What do you make of the increasing choice of colours and materials, and why do you think brands are focusing on making straps so easy for their clients?
Why are they making straps so easily for their clients? Because in this day and age, people want choice, and this gives you the opportunity to bespoke your watch, really, I suppose. You want a selection for the clients, and you can revitalise a watch that you've had and you've not, made much of, perhaps. But also for the brands as well themselves, it's another opportunity for revenue. Let's face it. But I'd say on the whole, it gives the opportunity for a wider selection.
Absolutely. And we've got a question from Oliver Barmer. What are your thoughts on Breitling?
I think they're great. I mean, they'll be exhibiting at the Basel Fair, which we'll be going to in March. So we look forward to presenting the newness from Breitling. But they're fantastic. We've got a boutique of Breitling which we just recently launched in our 155 flagship, and I'm looking forward to bringing the newness from Breitling when they launch in March.
I love their really strong brand identity. I think that's great from our perspective. We see quite a lot of brands that have you can connect with a lot of them, but I like how fun and bold they are as a brand. And
when you think of aviation, you think of Breitling. The Navitimer is the classic aviator's watch. So we don't need to talk through the slide rule mechanism on the bezel now, but yeah, it's a classic watch. So
we'll do another.
It's a thumbs up from us.
And this is a great question, Martin O'Brien. I'm not really sure.
Martin, how you doing?
David, do you think the Zenith Tipo bronze will do for Zenith what the One Black Bay bronze did for Tudor?
Whoa, good call.
I think that's the best question we've had so far.
They're all good.
They
all
are
good
actually.
We know Martin is so. Thanks for the question, Martin. Time will tell. I've been advocating the Tudor Black Bay Bronze as a brand, a watch to put your money into. When we saw the bronze Tipo,
the flyback chrono. This one.
Yeah, we're impressed with that. So. I'd like to think so because I'm a big fan of Zenith, and we both are. I know that, and so let's see. I'd like to think so.
Thank you. What are the biggest challenges facing the luxury watch industry, and how do you think the brands are responding, given what we've just seen at the fairs?
The biggest challenge facing the watch industry by specific brands, I'd say that. For brands to, if another brand sees a trend going, and for instance blue dials are quite hot at the moment and conservative pricing, and we've seen a lot of blue at this fair, and I think brands need to stay on trend with consumer demand, but also at the same time stay loyal to their DNA and their core as to who they are. So I think that's sometimes the challenge for the brands to sort of not sell their soul to the devil and stay true to who they are. So I think that will be something, because obviously some brands are stronger than others in our world. So I envisage that being a bit of a challenge for them.
Yeah. And I think they're responding really well, because a lot of brands are staying loyal to their heritage and DNA. We're seeing so many, whether it's anniversary pieces or them reaching back into their archives and actually trying to connect with what first made them the brands that they are, because everyone's got a different identity, a different story and a different history. So I think the minute they veer away from that, and as you say, just because blue particularly might be on trend, but they're not known for blue watches or blue dial watches, it's I think that's probably one of the way that they're just staying very focused, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
And loyal. And what does SIHH mean to you and to Watches of Switzerland?
It is an opportunity for us to see the newness before it arrives, and also to engage with our friends in the vendor community to get an understanding of how they're thinking. At the same time, we can feed back to them on what they're introducing. More importantly, it's an opportunity for us to bring a new selection to our clients, to hopefully stay one head of the game with our competition, to be able to provide information on what's out there, and a wider selection. So that for me is what SIHH is all about for Aura.
Okay. Well, I think we're just about out of time, but David, thank you for answering all those questions. There's a couple that we haven't been able to respond to, so we will reply. And if you've got any more, please do keep them coming. In the meantime, join us when we are visiting and when we're back from Basel World in March, and we get to see the next wave in the second watch fair of the year. Thank you very much.
Thank you.